everyone. We're back again. I'm Tracey Swainson, and this is Chantal Vanderhagen. And we're introducing today Chantal. And Chantal is an intuitive psychotherapist. And our experiences, as you're beginning to learn, are blending together. Our stories are different, and yet we're weaving the energies of our stories together. And so whether you are a woman who has had a pregnancy loss, whether you are a woman who has not had that experience, maybe you desire to have children, maybe you didn't, but you're here in this space because you connect with us for one reason or another. And so we honor you, we give thanks for you being here, and we hope that what comes through in our conversation today is very supportive for you. If you have any questions, if you want to comment below on anything that we have to say, if you want to reach out to us, we'll have all the information below. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to Chantal, and I look forward to connecting with you. Chantal, would you like to share a little bit about you and your story?
Thank you, Tracey. Thank you, ladies, for being here and witnessing me. It never occurred to me that I needed to talk about, create conversation around being a woman without children, or in my case, it's actually unplanned childlessness. And I'm only just learning. So someone uses, I use unplanned, someone else uses involuntary. It never even occurred to me to have these words, and that I even could share about, there was even any discussion around it. So I'm really finding it interesting because I'm now 58. And it's only now am I really going through a lot of the emotions that I didn't feel at the time, because there's no room for it in any form or manner, not only within me, but in society. And I'm only just learning about words like natalist society, where it's everything is, when I look back or look around now, everything is about being a mother, being, having a child, everywhere you go. And it made me then realize, looking back again, I was so numb and so like frozen in a way, or like this, I just got on with it. I didn't realize that I actually felt excluded, that I actually felt isolated. And I just got on with life. I had a good life, but I realized I didn't have a fantastic life of really being there, because I was forever feeling on the outer. And there's also other issues around that too, but that's not for today's discussion. And because it all ties in together. I always remember wanting to be a mother, and it never occurred to me that I would never be a mother. So everything I did was around that. So even though I was Australian born, but I was brought up in Europe, I came back to Australia, went back to Europe, I did a lot of different things, but forever there, I was thinking about everything I did was around being a mother. So I realized now I didn't actually fulfill what I really, really wanted to do, which was really interesting. However, having said all that, and this is sort of weaving in a little bit of my story, being brought up in a European environment, unfortunately, that was alcohol fueled, I never wanted to be a girl. So I'm just only putting this all together now. Being a boy was idolized. Being a boy was, you got attention, I didn't. So I had this sort of constant back, I wanted to be a boy, yet I knew I wanted to be a mother. So that was been really interesting. And I've just had a moment of menopause. I think sometimes when you talk about these things, you just go, ugh, you sort of start thinking, wow, here I am sharing this with you. And I think it's also important for us to know it's okay that we can have these moments. See, once upon a time, I would have felt very embarrassed about that and stopped this. But it's also, it can be, even though I'm well advanced with my healing around this, that it can still occasionally choke me up when I look back, because I realize now I wasn't fully, whether you want to call it woman, whether you want to call it person, how we identify, because I was so caught up in the social norms. I was so caught up in the religious part of it. I was so caught up in the education, the culture, that once you're a woman, you identify as a woman, but therefore you identify as a mother. And if you didn't identify as that, well, then who are you? You're ostracized, you weren't included. And I'm only realizing how powerful that is and has been. And it for myself. So what I'm realizing now for me is, as I'm going through the healing, I want to identify as me, as a human being, as a person with breath, who happens to be a woman. And I'm happy to identify as a woman. but I don't want to identify anymore as a mother, because I can't. I have mothering, and that's what I'm learning. I can be nurturing. So that took me a long time to come to as well with the work that I do, is I can still work with mothers, but for a long time I felt, well, having not been a mother, it's like even listening to your story, Tracey, as we've been getting to know each other, I couldn't relate to a lot of it. But what Brené Brown says, which really stuck with me in her book, Dare to Lead, it's about empathy. We can have empathy, means holding each other in this space with acceptance and understand. I have the emotions. I have felt a lot of what you feel and other women feel. So we might not have the same stories. And that was such a release that I could still empathize. I could still be there and present with women, holding that space without having had the experience. Because that's the other thing. What happened for me was through various family members, and so that's thrown at me, well, you're not a mother, you wouldn't know. Well, that shut me up, didn't it?
Oh, I've had that experience as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a mother, you don't know. So of course, then I thought I didn't know. So then that invalidated everything that I felt, or how I could perhaps support, or just that I could just be a loving person, just holding that you in that space, even though I didn't get what it meant to be a mother. So it's interesting to see how all these things start coming through.
And isn't that interesting, Chantal? I just love that you said that. That is another way of, like you just said, shutting us down, closing off our voice. Because
Yes.
of course, maybe you have not been a mother, but yes, you did still have the feelings. You still had empathy. You still have your own inner wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding, your awareness of life. And so therefore, why can you not be contributing to whatever conversation that might have been?
Thank you. And that's right. And that's why I keep using the word evolution. I've evolved into it, because I had to then, so that again, like we said, when you had your conversation, that is, if you haven't seen Tracey, it's well worth going back. This is getting to know us both. But like you said, onion, it is going layer upon layer to realize. So I need to unpack all that, or unfold it, because that's what I've called my business, Unfold Your Freedom. I needed to unfold it all, to actually look at, well, yes, I have, like you said, I understand. My father died. So I understand grief and anger and resentment and jealousy and joy and love and not knowing how I fit in, confusion, isolation. Why did I ever think that I didn't? But again, it's because we are boxed. Again, it's because we're put here, you're not a mother. You don't celebrate Mother's Day, birthdays, Christmas in a different way. You go into the shops and everything is children. Well, not everything, that's a, but so much is there, ads, and you don't realize it's this constant noise and this constant reminder that here you are trying to deal with the fact, trying to numb it down, shut it down, not there, but yet there's this constant barrage all the time of this stuff. How do you separate yourself? How do you find yourself in that space as the person you want to identify with? So you feel included, because again, it's all about inclusivity. Yet it's up to us, and I realize this as I was starting to go through menopause, so it's part of the story. As older women, we also feel we become invisible. And I realized if I didn't want to become invisible, I needed to remain visible.
Powerful statement. Yeah. See, that was something that I felt invisible. As soon as I realized I was having my pregnancy losses, I immediately felt invisible. I was no longer a part of groups where women were mothers because they had children and I did not. I was never invited to those birthday parties. I was never invited to group gatherings and all of that because I wasn't a mother. I did not fit in. And I immediately took that and I felt invisible within that space. So, oh my God, here's to visibility, ladies. Here's to visibility.
Exactly. Here's to visibility for who we are. And that's why I keep emphasizing it. And also that's what I'm going through at this point, is exactly that visibility. So no matter what age you are, we can often feel invisible at different stages of our lives. Yeah. But I think at the same time, what I learned was I needed to also take responsibility for me. It was up to me to get out there. It's up to me to find my confidence. It's up to me to step into who I want to be. And that is why, like you, I'm doing the work that I do, because I want to be able to give women what was given to me. But you need to find it in your own way. It has to come from you, self-determination. And that was so freeing now, is to know, you know what, I'm beautiful for who I am. I'm a wonderful person for who I am. And that took me a long time to get you, that I didn't feel embarrassed, ashamed, ego, or arrogant, all those sort of things. So I want us to be able to sit here, put our hand on our heart, wherever in our body, and go, you know what, I am who I am, and that is enough. In fact, it's more than enough, but we need to get to that point.
That's right. So I would love to know, Chantal, maybe you can share when you had that awareness, what was it that came up for you that you weren't a mother, and when you needed to start doing that healing work for yourself, like what came in that you were moving through life and doing all the things, and then all of a sudden we're having this conversation on women without children. What was the link for you that made you say, maybe I need to look at myself a little bit deeper here?
Well, it's interesting you say that. Only just late last year, about this side. And I've been pondering on this, because I wasn't going to get another coach with everything that was happening last year, but I chose to, someone I really know and respect, works with Akashic Records, and this is how it all came about. So that's when she said, this is your target market. This is talking a little bit more about business ladies. And then when she did that, however, then that took me into the healing aspect and going, wow. Because what I realized was, it hit me most profoundly when I was 43. And I was told by a beautiful GP that I literally couldn't have children anymore. And my hormones were shot. And I had a few tears, but I carried on with life, because no matter how beautiful he was, he never recommended go and have some counseling. It never occurred to me to have counseling. But I'd been dealing with the death of my father 7 years before, unexpectedly. Then I'd had a nervous breakdown. When I look back, I had these layers upon layers of other things than a car accident. So it sounds like I've had a lot, but I have a lot of experiences. So it never occurred to me, even things got in the way of me even thinking about it. Like, well, how did I end up here at this age? Not even realizing that I didn't even know I could grieve, because something you and I talked about that really hit me was, you had a pregnancy and a loss. I didn't even have that. So for me, it felt valid for you to have grief, but it didn't feel valid for me. What did I have to lose? You see, but only now am I realizing I had a lot to lose, because I didn't even have a pregnancy. Yes. My body didn't even get that experience. So it's interesting how we get these things and we just shove them aside. So even though society is around miscarriages or pregnancy losses is still not fully honored, I feel for me there's still something there. Whereas here, so it's not to minimize anyone's experience, I'm not saying that, but it's just interesting how, ladies, even if you had planned childlessness, because I've been talking to a few friends or people about this when I was talking to other women, there can still come a moment of grief when you really can't, when you do go into menopause. Like, it's what I'm hearing from women is, even though they were clear and they were still clear, there's still a moment of, I really can't now. And my body is changing. And that's going to be another conversation we're going to have with you ladies as well, is to talk about that, but that was my moment for me, when I was told by the doctor that, because I was looking at sperm donor at that point, and ended up in hospital instead with a nervous breakdown. So I think that was the universe saying to me I couldn't. So I went to him, because his approach to hormones was different. And he said they would never have picked it up. I could have fallen pregnant, but I would never have held the pregnancy, because I didn't have enough progesterone or whatever. So so in a way, the universe, even though it was devastating at the time, it's helped me with other devastation of financial loss, of never falling pregnant, going through it on my own, so on and so on, because I struggled with that. Do I have a baby on my own or not? So there's a lot there we can discuss further. And ladies, I just want you to know that these are the topics and things. So anything you want to talk about, just let us know so we can make that into a topic. So yeah, so that was my moment, was really only last year.
Wow, that's incredible. So a lot has happened for you in this past year. You've done a lot of learning, a lot of healing, a lot of new awarenesses. Yes. So bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's nice to hear.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
It's just nice to hear, to have that acknowledgement and witness, because again, you could feel like, oh my God, I should have done that earlier. That little voice still comes back, does every now and again. It's like, no, I'm only meant to be able to do it now. I can do it now. I'm ready to do it now. You know, I had other things to work with, and it's all part of me just stepping into who I identify, who I love and want to be, and how I want to come across. So it's just another part of the journey with that.
Absolutely. And what I want to bring forward with this, just this last point, is that it doesn't matter whether you are 43 and you've just found out that you can no longer, it's not an option, you're not going to have children, maybe you've just been told, or maybe you're 65 and you're just listening and you're like, oh my goodness, I have never allowed myself the space to grieve my losses or my unplanned childlessness. Wherever you are, it is okay, and you are safe to take those emotions and really sit with them, honor them, feel them, and just allow whatever wants to come through. And we're here for you for that. So Chantal, maybe you can just share how you support women and how they can contact you.
Thank you. How I can support, and interesting enough, when I look back over the years, I started at Reiki as a massage practitioner about 25 years ago. And I look back now, and I like you, Reiki, aromatherapy, meditation, tapping. So like I've got a whole lot of different things in my life now, but it's been evolving to the point now I'm a psychotherapist. And I realize it's always, everything I've done, even when I created my own skincare range, was about women feeling beautiful for who they are in whatever way. So lady, I work with one-on-one sessions. I've got a Facebook closed group. I have packages, and and as a psychotherapist, what I learned, and I also learned about how to hold circles. So circle holding can be with yourself, with someone else, like we are holding each other, and the intention of you ladies being here is part of that. But a lot of those values overlapped. So it's about you feeling safe, somewhere where you can simply be yourself, somewhere where you feel heard, witnessed, without judgment, acceptance, somewhere where you can come and let your facade down, because so many of us don't know how to let our facades down because we've created a barrier, or we've been successful in our lives, or we've been the strong ones, independent ones. So people, well, who am I now? And we often don't want to lose that standing and appear like there's cracks. We don't want to show people our cracks. So it's often when you trust someone, because you need to like my energy, whether, you need to like who I am, because if you don't, the magic won't happen the way it can do. So there's that as well. And I'd go right down to even loving my voice, my words, all those things come into it, because I want you to feel welcomed into my space, warm in my space. So that's what I do, Tracey, is I just offer you the opportunity to work with me. As I said, I have different tools and it's personalized. And we just work with you because everything is about self-determination. It is all within here. I didn't think it was as I was going through my therapy. It actually is all within here. And what we're doing and how I support you is I just take you, support you, mirror you, gently challenge you. So you come to own what it is, what is right for you and how you're feeling. And there's magic in that.
And it comes full circle because you reflect what is already inside of whoever that is that we're serving. And then they are able to see within themselves that they have it all within them. So
exactly,
you have it all within you.
That's right. And that's how I'd like to end it. We do have it. Sorry. So I'm just going to say, that's how I was going to end. So how I wanted to end it was exactly that. I didn't know I had it within me. Now I do. And that's what I'd like you to hear, ladies. Even if at the moment you don't feel that you have it within you, it is there. It's just a matter of having the courage to reach out.
And how can they reach you, Chantal?
I have a Facebook group called, Facebook page called Unfold Your Freedom. My website, everything's Unfold Your Freedom. I do have a closed Facebook group, but I think what we'll do, Trace, we'll wait until we open ours. I'm on Instagram and I'm on LinkedIn as Chantal Vanderhagen. Reach out, say hello, ask questions, follow, get to know me, and let's see what we can do to create conversation around this and whatever healing that's required.
Perfect. Wonderful. So ladies, again, as always, we end our sessions with a card reading. And today I'm going to be using the Divine Guidance. And this is by Cheryl Harnish. And let's just take a moment, breathe into our heart space. And what guidance can we receive as we close this little session today? We have two that popped out, so here we go. We have two.
You have to push.
cards.
Okay, right. Okay.
We have this one.
Yeah.
And we have this one. So they came out together. They want to be seen together. So I will just bring this one forward. This is the dragon guide. And the dragon is here to help you stand in your life. Others may have strong opinions about what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. It could also be that others are interfering when they should not be. Dragon has come to help you stand firm for what you believe is right, even if it means breathing a little fire to get your point across. Do not worry, it will be okay. Dragon is here to help you claim your power and your right to live your life as you see best. How perfect is that? And then we're going to quickly just go to this very last one. So this one here, I'll bring it closer, is resolution. Life is like a puzzle, and we put the pieces together in a way that fits us best. Until now, your puzzle hasn't seemed to fit together in a way that has made sense. What seems out of harmony will begin to feel balanced. Even though some things feel like they just won't work, shifts and adjustments are happening right now. You will find that things will start to fall into place and that everything will fit together perfectly in your life. Isn't that incredible? Thank you. So ladies, thank you for being with us, for sitting with us. And whether you hear this month, April of 2021, or you hear this 3 years down the road, whatever the case is, we're here for you. Please reach out and we'd love to connect with you. So thank you very much. Thank you, Chantal.
Thank you.